Sunday in North London served up the full menu. There are wins, there are derby wins, and then there are the ones that feel like a message to everybody else. This was that. For goals away at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 2 for Viktor Gyökeres, 2 for Eberechi Eze, and a league table that now looks even better. Top of the league, 5 points clear. Spurs, meanwhile, did what Spurs so often do when the spotlight's brightest. They unraveled. What stood out right from the first whistle wasn't just energy or emotion. It was the way we played like a team totally sure of itself. Calm in possession, aggressive out of it, and clinical when it mattered. The ball didn't just get cleared and chased. It was moved with purpose. It felt like we were the home side. Early on, Gyökeres set the tone by making life miserable for their center halves. You could see defenders making decisions half a second too late because he was in their space, leaning in, forcing contact, asking questions. At the other end, there was a moment where Leandro Trossard nearly caught Guglielmo Vicario out from distance after a long, quarterback-style delivery from David Raya. It had that feeling of a team willing to try things because they trust their shape behind the ball. And then the match briefly paused for what was described as technical issues. Honestly, if you were writing a Tottenham script, you'd include it. Even the equipment seemed to want to opt out of the occasion. But the pressure didn't go away, and eventually pressure tells. The opening goal came from a sequence that looked simple, but only because it was done properly. Bukayo Saka got himself one-on-one, twisted Pate Matar Sarb on the byline, and fizzed the ball into the danger area. Eze did the rest with that calm he has, that elastic little touch to set himself, the swivel, and then the finish. Clean, certain, 1-0, and it felt deserved because we'd been in control. Of course, it's a derby, and derbies don't allow you to get too comfortable. One lapse, one moment where the ball gets nicked, and suddenly they're running at you. Declan Rice was caught in possession. Randall Kolo Muani drove forward, and just like that it was 1-1. Not because they'd taken over the game, but because at this level you switch off once and you get punished. The key thing was what happened next. The second half didn't feel like panic or scrambling to regain control. It felt like a team resetting and saying, right, enough of that. Whatever was said at halftime, it worked, because we came out sharper and more direct without losing our composure. The goal that put us back in front was a statement all by itself. Jurriën Timber fed Gyökeres just outside the box. One touch to set, and then the shot. No hesitation, no extra step, no aimless blasting. Just a pure, struck finish that left Vicario still moving as the ball hit the net. That's his 14th of the season, and it doesn't look like he's slowing down. Spurs thought they found another equaliser when Kolo Muani bundled one in, but it didn't stand. Gabriel made sure of that. There are defenders you can bully and defenders you can't, and Gabriel isn't one you move around without paying for it. Disallowed, and instead of Spurs building momentum, the game tilted further our way. Then came the move that really killed it, the one that felt like the air leaving the stadium. The ball moved through Gyökeres, Eze, and Saka, and it had everything. Strength, technique, and that little bit of swagger you only show when you believe you're better. Saka didn't get the final touch he wanted in the crowd. The ball spilled loose, and Eze was there first. 2 for him on the day. And it's becoming a pattern, isn't it? Some players enjoy derbies. Eze looks like he's claimed them. Another goal against Spurs. Another big moment in this fixture. And another reminder that when the game gets emotional and frantic, he somehow gets calmer. Still, there was a moment where things could have turned slightly awkward. Ritualizer nearly dragged them back to within 1. And David Raya produced a save that won't get the attention it deserves. It was one of those reflex stops that doesn't look pretty, but it changes games. If you're thinking about title races late in the season, those are the moments that quietly matter. And then, in injury time, the exclamation mark. Gyökeres again, this time using that strength to hold off Archie Gray, like a man protecting his dinner from a seagull, and then finishing with composure. 4-1. Game over. Stadium silence. North London painted red again. The scoreline was big, but the numbers behind it sting even more if you're on their side. It's the first time we've won 4 straightaway games at Spurs since 1955. It's 5 consecutive derby wins, home and away, for the first time since 1989. It's a league double over them in back-to-back seasons. something we haven't done since the late 80s. And it's 5 points clear at the top. For Spurs, it gets uglier. Winless home and away in 2026, and a new era under Igor Tudor started with a derby loss. Some clubs reinvent themselves. Spurs tend to repeat themselves. Individually, Gyökeres is now setting the pace for goals across the calendar year, with 8 of his 15 coming in 2026. And Eze is climbing into rare company in this fixture in the Premier League era, with only a couple names ahead of him for derby goals for us. But here's the real feeling from this match, and it's why it resonates beyond just the bragging rights. It wasn't chaos. It wasn't a backs-to-the-wall smash and grab. It wasn't survival. It was control. We dictated the match. We absorbed the moment when they landed a punch. And then we hit harder, with better football and better decision-making. You could also sense a gap in where the two clubs are right now. Spurs look like a side worried about the wrong end of the table. We look like a side hunting titles. On that pitch, it didn't feel like rivalry alone. It felt like levels. So what now? There's a rare, quiet midweek coming up, which almost feels strange when you've got momentum like this. Next weekend, it's Chelsea at home. Then Brighton away in midweek. Then an FA Cup trip to Mansfield Town. Different competitions, different kind of pressure. But the theme stays the same. Momentum matters, and confidence builds quickly when you keep doing the right things. And if this is the way we treat the biggest local test on the calendar, the rest of the league might want to take a long look at their upcoming fixtures. North London is red, and it's starting to look like the Premier League might be too.